News is where we talk about things that are awesome when I'm not talking about things that really tick me off. Well, what are we talking about today? It is the Outlaw Josey Wales. The Outlaw Josey Wales. I think we're going to start calling the series a Cowboy Campfire. So everyone gather around, get some coffee, get your whiskey. I have hot coffee, blueberry flavored, and with me, as always, is the man from the north, from the future, the one, the only Stig Kenobi.
Hi. Howdy, partner.
Oh dear. They didn't teach you how to do that at Downton Abbey, so.
No.
Oh, well, cool. Well, you're the Outlaw Josey. You're not the Outlaw Josey Wales. That's from the TV show. What's the one? What was that called? The
Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
There you go. Yeah, the dude from The Evil Dead. Well, a show I still need to watch. Well, and before we get going with our discussion of this movie, we have the Norporeal Lifeform. Thank you for being here. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Yeah, wrong movie, but yes, I love it. The movie was brutal, makes you dislike the Union. Yeah, well, especially out west, things got pretty nasty out there. But certainly, I like the way that they had the theme kind of the Civil War going through it. And at the end, it was like the war is over. This goes in with what Norporeal says. Do you think it plays into the lost cause? Certainly, there was an aspect of it, but I felt, especially the way the movie ended, that they were saying, it's over. Let's all go home. JB's Pork Chop Express. Hello, thank you for being here. S-tier Eastwood film, the best Southern of all time. And a good chunk of his films are Cinema Copa, one of my absolute favorites. Dying ain't no way to make a living. I know there were so many good quotes in this movie. Stig is an honorary American. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. More like dishonorary. Because I don't think they want me over there. They say they do, but I don't think they really mean it.
Well, your honesty would go over well in New York, maybe, but you'd have to be insane to go to New York right now. So, Miss Martin and Stig says, Tyrone Lethbridge, good morning to you both. Well, good morning to you, good sir. You are from a place very far in the future, but of course, you're present in the present. So, thank you for being here. Yeah, this was a movie that my brother-in-law actually mentioned. And Stig mentioned this one to me as well, that I had to watch the Outlaw Josey Wales. And I told my brother-in-law, and he goes, you haven't seen the Outlaw Josey Wales. Oh my gosh. So the family all went and watched it with me again. So that's the second movie that my family has been like, what's wrong with you? We need to watch this movie. So we had a lot of fun with this as well. And my gosh, so much classic.
I keep telling you to stop watching just movies with doilies in them.
Oh, that's cool. I don't only watch those movies, but they're so good. But they're ruining those now, aren't they? Look at the new cast for the Pride and Prejudice that they're doing, and look at the Wuthering Heights. Oh my gosh. So go backwards. But I am all for doilies. I make doilies. So
more like withering culture.
Good point. I saw this for the first time a year ago, says an Norporeal Lifeform. I was late to this one too. Yeah, Dirty Harry and Every Which Way But Loose was my gateway drug to Eastwood. Yes,
yeah. There was I don't know which one I know I watched Every Which Way But Loose early on, but I'm wondering if the first was Where Eagles Dare or Kelly's Heroes. Probably Where Eagles Dare was my first Eastwood movie.
Yeah. There's that, and I think the Every Which Way But Loose was on TV or something, because I, for some reason, remember seeing that as a little girl on TV, and then not the good, bad, the ugly, the Hang 'em High. And that freaked me out so bad because he had the mark on his neck from when he, was hanged. Where Eagles Dare on the gondola was terrifying. But yeah, Dirty Harry, my dad used to just quote that all the time. And it turns out I hadn't watched it for the first time in quite a while.
You know what? With the Dirty Harry movies,
Mhm.
um, 1 and 2 are probably the best, but none of them are terrible.
Mm.
So you can safely watch all of them, and all of them are different because it's like a new case. So the first one is like it has a psycho in it, right?
Yeah.
But the second one deals with well, it's kind of assassination gang related. I can't spoil it though.
Oh, well, for sure. Maybe I'll make that part of my January challenge because I always like to do a January challenge when everyone kind of has the post-holiday blues. Make it like Dirty Harry and all of those kind of like Dirty Harry, uh, not Die Hard, the other Death Wish, all of those kind of things.
Oh
The
yeah,
Punisher. Yeah. Like cops we wish we could be. Uh-oh.
Death. Well, Death Witch. That's not a cop. That's a vigilante thing.
Yeah, vigilante cops.
Yeah, it's kind of a Death Witch. I think it was Death Wish 3, where one of the residents in the area has an old bazooka on the wall. You kind of have to laugh because okay, they've introduced a bazooka. Charles Bronson's going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure as hell he does.
Oh, hell yeah. Wow, goodness. I've got up a bunch of pictures here. Let me see if I can bring it up without, I get a little cranky with Google because sometimes they will do some spoilers. Not spoilers, spoilers for me. Well, it'll be like, oh, this, car park that's near you. I've never seen this. Like, oh, for shame, for shame. I'm assuming it's worth
Yeah.
watch if we are making a bid.
I'll stick my reputation on this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good one. You should watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are so many classic scenes in this movie that I didn't even know were classics until I saw it. It was ridiculous. I I did get a little bit cranky with the hair, but I always have to bitch about the hair. So maybe we'll get there. But Miss Martin Muses, we got to talk those movies I made a dirty hair video a while ago. Yeah. Well, dude, we need to keep going with Wheel of Time. So DM me. Oh, wait, I said that in a mean tone of voice. Death Wish, I'll say it in a nice tone of voice. I've been trying to be a nicer person. Death Wish is the greatest movie of all time. Oh, interesting. It is. Okay, everyone's loving it. So, the Outlaw Josey Wales. Now, there were so many good moments in this, but the opening of it, I thought was pretty horrifying. Now, I knew the, whatever you call it, the premise that he was minding his own business out in the farming. Suddenly his wife was all like, hey, he needs to come in, he needs to wash his hands and stuff, and he's like, yeah, sends him in or something to that effect. And then if he hadn't sent his son in for dinner or whatever it was, his son maybe might have survived, but I had no idea how brutal it would be.
At least the hands were clean afterwards.
Oh, well, in more ways than one, because give me a second. I'm getting a message here that I might need to take care of. Oh, pardon me. I almost said a bad word.
This is why you never text Teresa, because now you know how she reacts.
Oh, well, yeah, now you do, for fuck's sake. Oh, I said it. Oh, hey, you know what? I have had some shit time. Yeah, you started book 10, but the other book we need to review. I think we need to review book 8. We're all behind. So on our reviews, anytime, of course, because I'm mostly free. So in any case, so he sends his son in. Like you said, at least he had clean hands. I had no idea how completely brutal it would be. Not that there's any good way for a family to meet their terrible ending, but the wife very clearly was still alive. And I was like, does she live? And my brother was like, oh my gosh, this movie was made in the 60s. They drag her off and she's screaming, and how she's going to die. It's like, oh, okay. So she dies in that way. The son burns alive. I was horrified, absolutely horrified by that. And I'm like, this is brutal. And then he goes and he buries them. So it's like, okay, they're definitely dead. And I'm like, so that meant that he had to go and, get his dead son. And you can understand how he becomes what he becomes. I mean, I would be like, I don't know what I would be. I would be like the most vengeful banshee from hell, I think, if I had that happen to my family. But it was a very powerful opening and set definitely the tone. So, in any case, let's pause here for a commercial break. Yay! We have a $2 super chat. Teresa needs a swear jar now. Hope this helps. Yes. You know what? Maybe I should do this. I did a good job during Lent, but life happened. So I'll be better. But as Stig says, that's always a little bit scary now that everyone knows how I have a running commentary when people text me. Movies know how to grab you back then. Hell yes, they did. And then the opening credits told a story because he joins up to fight in the Civil War, and it shows fighting. And I did laugh a bit because I felt like they were taking shots from different Civil War reenactments, and they were showing the same scenes over and over again, but you saw how he fought. And then once the war was over, they were going to surrender so long as they took the oath. And that was a very controversial thing at the time. However, it's a situation of people deciding the war is over. We now need to take the oath. Even Robert E. Lee, when he took the oath, that was very controversial in the South. But people are like, enough already. We're going to take our oath to the Union. However, this is a Western, and these people are nasty and terrible people. So while they're taking the oath and thinking that they're surrendering and it's all going to be honorable, they get out a Gatling gun straight out of that moment in Red Dead Redemption 1 when the guy reveals the Gatling gun, and bam, they just tear them all down with bullets. It was awful. Those bastards. And now I said bastards, but that's not as bad as the F word.
Kind of weird. You have like a Viking and a Catholic lady on a stream, and the Viking isn't the guy who's cussing.
I know, I'm sorry. Hey, I behave myself on my Catholic channel. I do. But, as I say, the F-bomb is a nonsense word. No one's being hurt. So of all the other problems I have in my life, like I said, what I would do, you know what? It reminded me of that scene, not the scene, rather it's real life, the testimony. Oh, for fuck's sake, Benedict. Oh gosh, now I did it again, but that was at my cat. So it's not a crime if you swear at your cat. It was the dad whose daughter had been killed. This real life, and the person had like 30 felonies or something, and he just went medieval on them. And I remember thinking his restraint was so restrainable. And of course, the bad guys that become his nemesis are the people that took his wife and that, gunned them all down. And worst of all, he was betrayed by his friend.
Well, technically, the friend wasn't aware of the betrayal.
Oh, he didn't know that they were going to kill him?
No.
Oh, why did I feel like he knew that?
Because, yeah. Oh. He wasn't, but he was the one again got him to give up the guns, and also he's kind of responsible, but he was duped.
Okay, then this is what happens when you watch something for the first time. But then why, son of a, Why did he stay with them after that?
I don't know. Probably because the war was over, you know, but it was still.
Okay. Well, no one asked me. All right. So, in any case, there's this little boy who's still alive then. And I felt like this was really, really sad because he actually, well, I thought he was going to survive because, there were some really cool moments like where they lied down where the horses were, they made the horses lie down, they went down, and you saw the Outlaw Josie Wales just do some really cool stuff. And
Oh, Nordporial has a point.
oh,
The captain guy was still kind of a prisoner, right?
okay.
Because he had surrendered as well.
Oh, you know what? That sounds good. And for anyone that might be yelling, is this woman an idiot? It's like, this is my first time watching, so I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. Just so keep that in mind. But thank you for that. Okay, so that was why he didn't. But so yeah, so it was pretty brutal. So he told them to surrender and tried to act in good faith. Yeah, and just goes to show you that no good deed ever goes unpunished. That's one of the themes of my life. And
Which is why you should never do good deeds.
well, you
Because
know
if you
what?
do, then people get mowed down by Gatling guns.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say something a little bit different, like they'll take advantage of your goodwill, but that too. Um, let's see. I think here we go. Okay, I'm bringing up some photographs here. So, anyways, this little boy, he is hurt, and you think he's gonna live, and they kind of go to this medicine woman. I mean, and she's
She
the
was
one that
awesome.
I know you do not want to mess with that lady. I swear. And um, so she gives him like a poultice or something, and it's yeah. What did you like about that lady? I just liked her. She just was such a hard ass.
Well, she behaved and sounded awesome.
Yeah. Here, okay. Here's the little boy,
Yeah.
and
Actually, it looks a bit like me when I was a kid.
he does. Oh my gosh. Stig, we
Like,
know
wow.
what's really you were really doing with your life. All right.
Yeah, getting shot by a Gatling gun.
Yes. Well, this is your reincarnated life, I guess. It's tough to see a young sidekick character kick the bucket, says in Report Your Life from the Kingsman did this too, but worse. I hate that people take advantage and foster those feelings, leads to cynicism. Tell me about it. Or it leads
Now
to
you know why I'm kind of cynical at least once per week.
yeah. Well, I tell you, sometimes I do debate whether or not you've got the right of it, but
There's no debate, and I'm from Norway. I always get it right.
wow. Okay. So, anyways, dear me, this chick made a poultice for this poor little guy. And I'm like, okay, he's going to be all right. He's got a poultice thing. But of course, it was the 19th century where they had no antibiotics, and he didn't make it. And he kind of knew he wasn't going to make it.
Well,
And
before that though, they get attacked by hillbilly bounty hunters, right? And then there's that ferry thing.
yes, tell
But
us about that.
you know the two hillbilly bounty hunters.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure they're bounty hunters, opportunistic people, maybe.
Yeah.
The main one, that's Uncle Leo from Seinfeld.
No way.
Yes, he's also in Kelly's Heroes, which is another Clint Eastwood movie that I think came out the year before. Clint Eastwood has a tendency to use a lot of the same actors
Hmm.
in his movies. The lady in this one too, the blonde one. she is in like 4 or 5 Clint Eastwood movies. I think he was banging her, to be honest.
Oh yeah, they had an affair that lasted until 1989.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she's in it, and quite often he'll also use Jeffrey Lewis. I don't think he was in this one, but he tends to be in a lot of uh, Eastwood movies.
Hmm.
He's also done a ton of westerns. Very underrated actor. Is Juliette Lewis's dad, I believe.
Yeah. Well, you know those hillbilly guys. Well, first of all, they should have shot right away. First, I just remember thinking, dudes, just shoot. What's wrong with you? You know. Um, but it reminded me, frankly, of those hillbillies in Red Dead Redemption 2. You know, sometimes if you try to do make a camp up there north of Annisburg, and suddenly there's some hillbillies going, "We told you not to camp around here," and that's what it reminded me of. But of course, people are wanting the bounty that goes along with him. But yeah, we had that, and the fairy guy was funny because he said, depending on who he was around, whether he sang Dixie or whether he sang uh, Battle Hymn of the Republic, I think it was the Union song. Yeah, so you showed how he was playing both sides, and then there was a snake oil salesman, and he was pretty cool. Let's see. And of course, you showed that you just don't mess with Josie Wales. It really reminded me of, I don't know, like Wild Bill Hickok, the way he was in Deadwood, where it's just like you're an idiot if you try to draw on Josie Wales. So, speaking of him, look at him. Would you mess with that guy? I most certainly would not. I would not. Well, this leads in him to a trapper. He goes from place to place to place, and he gradually picks people up and gets like a little ragtag gang of people. Well, he is at this trader, and they have a woman that they are obviously taking advantage of. Net Norporeal Life Form says Lewis was in Thunderbolt and Lightbolt, EWBL, High Plains and Drifter. Ah, thank you. And they were doing it like right in front of them, and you knew that they were dead men the second basically Josie Wales walked in. And sure enough,
Oh, he's quick too in that scene.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was one of my favorites. Well, my favorites are anytime he quick draws. And he sure as hell does.
Didn't he pick up the old Native American first?
Oh shoot, you are correct. He did pick him up first.
He's the best character in the movie.
Yes. And speaking of things that, they don't really do in movies anymore, when he showed up, he like did this big, huge monologue about well, kind of like about his people. You always joke a little bit about that. Like they're always talking about their people and their land and things, but it really was a thing. And he probably talked for about hell. He did a monologue, I think, that lasted about 5 minutes, talking about how he went to the West, rather, and went to Lincoln, and he even had his big top hat thing that that they would wear, like his Abraham Lincoln stovepipe hat, and and I like it that they didn't really trust each other. For some reason, they're not letting me bring up a picture of him, so y'all are going to have to use your imagination. But
plus, he was too old to to not be snuck up on.
Yeah,
that was kind of funny. They would say, "I thought Indians were sneaky," and he's like, "Now old,"
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Norportal says he thought of Eye of the World Fairy while watching the fairy scene here. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, right now I see everything through the lens of the Wheel of Time and and Red Dead Redemption 2. But yes. And that joke came back later because of the Native American woman that he saved did the whole big shootout. And I think it's actually after this scene, if I can get up this picture here, that he has his gun on the Indian, and they kind of bring back that thing that you can't sneak up on an Indian, but then the lady sneaks up behind him, and it was quite epic. So yeah, they do not want me to show this picture. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is. Finally, my gosh. All right, let me share this. Boom. Here we go. So this is I think that scene, or
Yeah,
he's still wearing his stovepipe hat.
that's when he meets him.
Yeah, that's when he meets him, because he still does, and he does that thing. And then later, and then it's the lady, Native American, that is behind him. And then later that night, this was awful, but it was so funny. She he goes over, and well, they're getting happy with each other. This really old man and this woman, and she's on top of him. And he's just kind of staring at the guy, was like, I told you I'm not an old man, or something to that effect. And you just see Clint Eastwood just kind of moving out of the camera frame, like kind of like I think what a person would do if they walk in on someone having sex. So it
Yeah.
was pretty
Well,
funny.
Clint Eastwood didn't didn't get to have sex in this movie. The old guy did.
Yeah. Oh no, Clint Eastwood bangs the blonde at the end before
Oh,
he
okay.
leaves. Yeah. Because I remember thinking, great, now she's going to be pregnant after he takes off. How much time did you put into Red Dead Redemption 2? Well, you know what's really scary? I'm only just starting. Because if you know,
I have over 100 days in it.
yeah, I'm not sure what mine is. I could check it, but I suspect it might be worse than what I did with Skyrim. And if you know me and Skyrim, you know how much I can play a game when I decide to get into it. And if Red Dead Redemption 3 happens, oh my gosh. But you definitely see that they did their homework. There's so many homages in Red Dead Redemption 2 and 1 to these.
You know what's going to happen in Red Dead 3?
What?
It's going to be way bigger than 2.
I know, which is scary. Last time I played, I was mauled by a bear. Oh yeah, I've been mauled a few times. I had issues with the cougar. The cougar always gets me. But I finally got the bested. So anyway, so then now he's got himself and 2 Indians, and they just keep running into people that know who they are. And then there's the cool scene where they're in the town. That's the first time you see the blonde chick. And of course, there's a big old shootout situation, and they're going north or south, or no, they're going out to a ranch where their son is, supposedly the family. And we see them later where they have actually been attacked by the bad guys, and the girl is going to be graped. And frankly, I was very shocked at how graphic that was. They really went there, and I said, man, they must have let the censorship stuff go at this point, because there's no way they would have allowed them to do a scene like that even 5 years earlier. But she was saved. And then they bring the old lady and this pretty girl along with them. And let me bring her up. Yeah, I got a few issues with her. She's pretty and all that, but her hair, that is not even close to 19th century hair. That is a 1960s hair. That is soap opera hair. Women did not have hair like that. It's like they didn't even try, but no one asked me. So, but yeah, she's very pretty. And yes, they started their affair, I believe, with this movie. Wait, is this 1960 or this was 1970?
Oh, this is early 70s.
Early 70. This was 71. My fault.
She basically got the role and decided to clean his dirty Harry.
Oh, yeah. But her mother was feisty as hell, because she
was awesome.
Yeah, she was awesome, and she was able to boss him around, and was able to tell him not to spit so much in the house. Oh, it was so disgusting. I almost want to barf thinking about it. 1976. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that was not too long after I was born. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I had maybe another movie in mind when I was thinking 69. But in any case,
There's
this.
no way that cannot sound dirty.
Oh, wait, what?
You had
What?
another movie in mind when you were thinking 69?
Oh, no, no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh dear. And then they were going to go off and sell her to, I forget his name. He was a really, really hard ass Native American. And
It's it's
we,
it's the guy from the Cuckoo's Nest movie.
yeah.
That's the guy.
And they were getting ready for a big old shootout at the ranch. However, Clint Eastwood decided to go and parlay with the guy. And I do have, oh, it looks like this is a compilation picture thing I got, but this guy was scary as hell. And I would be like, I remember thinking, I don't want to F with this dude. Hell no. Actually, I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to crop this out a little bit. But Clint Eastwood, his character decides to go and, well, I guess he decides that he's going to parlay with him. And it turns out that it works, because I thought it was going to turn into a big massacre too, but it did not. And instead, they become blood brothers, which I'm just like, dude, Clint Eastwood is like Superman in this or something. I
And
mean,
he,
it
he
just,
did he did not show any fear to these people.
no.
Was basically being he was polite, but he wasn't taking any shit, and he was being straightforward.
Yeah, and maybe that was what he admired in him. Yeah, so here you go. Yeah, I wasn't able to get quite the top of his head, but you can see he had that paint and all that. And yes, Clint did direct this. Mhm. And we did have a moment of commentary when they became blood brothers, because, of course, knowing what we know about blood-borne diseases, you were like, don't do it. But they did. And they respected each other. So, 2 thumbs up about this whole thing. I just really loved it, and I remember being very surprised by it. And so after they all make friends, there's a really, really cool bounty moment, because, of course, the Outlaw Josey Wales, he's really famous by now, and they have a bounty, and some bounty hunter catches up to him in a bar. And it was really classic Clint Eastwood, because there was like shadow on his face, and he's kind of sitting there, and he gives the dude a chance to leave. I thought that was so cool. He gives him a chance, and he's like, the bounty hunter guy's like, yeah. And so he leaves. And then a few seconds later, he comes back, and he's like, I can't. And Clint Eastwood was like, I know. And then pow, and blew him away.
That's when it says dying ain't much of a living.
Oh, yeah. The famous line. I knew there was a famous line, but I didn't want to make an idiot of myself. Okay, dying is a faithful living. And I remember thinking only Clint Eastwood could do a scene like that.
Well, the thing is, Clint Eastwood is probably the best. I think him and Mel Gibson do the pissed off face best.
Oh, yes.
The grim, pissed off. Okay, now you're done, kind of thing.
Yeah. But it said something that the guy tried to leave, because he knew. It's like, oh, damn, it isn't going to end well.
It's like he knew that, yeah, I have to do my job and it's going to kill me.
Yeah.
He was almost resigned, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, just the way he was like, I couldn't leave. And it's like, yeah, I know. Oh, boy. Uh, Yeah, so 2 thumbs up about that scene, and then, of course, there is the inevitable final showdown, and they showed at the ranch the way that there were crosses in the doors, and I loved that because that is a thing. In the castles in Ireland and stuff, you would often see that there would be crosses, and it wasn't just because they were being devout, that it is a tactical advantage to have slits like that in your door and in your wall. And they pointed that out, that, that you could kind of aim in all different directions, up, down, side, and to the right, for the defense of these places. So I thought that that was really cool. It's just a detail of it. And we expected to have the inevitable showdown with the bad guy. Now I forget the name of the bad guy, who he was, but the ultimate
I thought the bad guy being the same one who killed Clint's family was a bit too convenient.
Ah,
The exact same guy gets to be the one hunting him.
yeah, but suspension of disbelief, maybe. It was a bit convenient, but it was so damned satisfying, because when he finally has him cornered and he is just like he's out of bullets mostly, and he's just like going click, 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 and you just see that guy just losing his shit, and I'm like, this is so cool. Terrell, thank you. This is what it happens when I'm watching something for the first time. I don't know everything that's going on, and it is cathartic. It was so cathartic. And and then of course he gets what he deserved. And then actually, I forget if it was before or after this that he shagged the lady, because they were all having a bit of a celebration. I think it was after that, because they were like, hey, look at us. We now have our farm and everything, and we're all having fun. And now let's have some sex. And then he inevitably leaves after that, because it seems like that's the way that a lot of these Westerns end. The lone gunman leaves behind the people, and they have to stay in civilization. But I don't know. I just kept thinking, girl's pregnant. I mean, you just can't shag people like that back then. But that would be for a fan fiction. Oh, and connecting this, Norpoil says, my issue with the OG Death Wish, Jeff Goldblum is still out there. I need to rewatch those. And speaking of the pissed off look, okay, I finally found this from that one scene. Let me bring it up here. Look at that face. You do not want to mess with that face.
He really uses that face in Unforgiven.
When
he starts drinking again and heads back into town because they've killed off Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, let me make this big for the whole. Look at that. I could look at that face all day. And his eyes. And this is why he is unmatched. Even though there's many other Western characters I really like, for example, Augustus McCrae, I love Woodrow F. Call, I like a lot of them. Nothing beats Clint Eastwood and what he is able to do, and I think that's why he is such a legend. He uses that face almost all the time. Damn right. Swell. Oh, gosh. Love this so much.
Yeah, I think, John Wayne probably did more Westerns than Eastwood.
Mm-hmm.
But John Wayne always wanted to play like, some kind of, character that wasn't rude or sadistic, or he was kind of like a hero type.
Yeah.
Even though he was stoic in some movies, but he still didn't want to play mean-spirited characters, and then Clint Eastwood shows up.
Yeah.
And apparently, John Wayne had issues with him because there's Clint Eastwood told a story that he had John Wayne had walked up to him and said, yeah, I liked your movie and all, and then as he left, he said, I wouldn't have shot him in the back, and
Oh,
then he marched off. So he had issues.
yeah. Well, John Wayne was from a different time,
Yeah.
and I can definitely see how this kind of thing would not be his cup of tea at all.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he would have had an aneurysm had he seen Unforgiven.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not a damn nice person. Well, the only nice one is Morgan Freeman.
Oh dear. He had to come back from the dead only to be shocked back into death. And Nord Poyle's favorite, greatest moment. Do I have to spell it out for you? Oh boy. Yeah. Oh dear. I mean, eventually I will rewatch it. It for sure will be a rewatchable movie. But damn. Yes. Very classic. And then the theme of the war coming at the end where he's like, the war's over. And I think
but that's symbolism too, because the war in him is over too.
it exactly, yeah, is a metaphor for what he was going through.
Because he meets the guy who seemingly betrayed him.
Yeah.
And they kind of just go, they leave each other alone.
Yeah. They decide to walk away, which very much is what happened in the Civil War. Yeah.
That guy is in Dirty Harry movies. The guy played the captain. I think it's the guy that kind of suspends Dirty Harry, and Harry holds up his badge and says, "This is an enema. Shove it up your ass," or something.
Yeah. Wow. He says, Nord Lifeform says, the Duke was mentioned quite a bit in All in the Family. Learned he was Republican even before I knew who he was. LOL. Yeah, All in the Family. That's a classic. My gosh.
I saw like a compilation thing on YouTube, people talking about John Wayne, and a lot of liberals. I think Bruce Dern was one of them, and a director that didn't want to work with John Wayne because he was a Republican. He had read so much shit about him in the newspaper and all that. All of them, after they met him, said they were ashamed of having thought that of him because he was the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like what the media portrayed him as at all.
The prejudice these people have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've run across that all the time.
Yeah. But it goes to show how shit the media can be, because, these days we'll go, people only read the headlines on Twitter or Facebook, right? Which is true. And then they have an emotional reaction to the headline. Or they read the comments from other people who only read the headlines. But it was probably the same back then, too, with newspaper headlines, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the only difference is we at least now have a manner of talking back to it. Because I remember back in the day when I was in college, if I saw something that I knew was bullcrap, I had to literally type out a letter, hand deliver it to the editor for consideration to be published, or you would have to mail it in. I remember doing that.
There's no way around it. That's a Karen move, if you think about it. Here's my handwritten letter, sir, of complaint. I mean, it is a Karen move.
But that's the equivalent of what a comment on a tweet. But I think that was the only way you could respond. You had to do it handwritten. We barely had email then. I remember having. Shut up, Steve. But I'm just saying that's what you had to do.
Yeah, and but if you do like a handwritten letter and walk up and hand the letter over to the person, that's like extra effort all over the place. That's like you really mean it.
Well, yes, I guess you did have to do that, or mailed it in. Like I would mail it in, and then it wouldn't be published till like a week later when everyone would forget what was said. And yes, Norporeal life form is accurate. He would be labeled a fascist. Yeah.
Yep.
Leftists were spewing this talk even then. Yeah. And how much of what we now know is fake news would actually happened and we never knew about it?
You know, the one who came up with the term fake news was CNN. That's why Trump started using the term fake news. He was using it back at
Ooh,
CNN to highlight that they had been lying in the way they had accused others of lying before.
yeah.
So it wasn't
Misinformation.
something that Trump came up with.
No, but something he definitely owns now. Hello, Toberfell. Thank you for being here. You guys will catch the replay. Well, thank you. And please like, comment, and subscribe because, or I say I meant comment because I'd definitely be interested in to see if you could add anything to the conversation. And
Or you know, you could do like what Teresa does and write a handwritten letter.
oh, shut up! This was back in 1990. All right. That's what you had to do if you wanted to send a letter to the editor. It wasn't handwritten. I printed it out and signed it, and then you had to sign it and use a stamp if you were mailing it in. Oh dear me, Karen, my rear end. So I forget. Oh, I brought up some quotes here. I'm cheating because guess what? I don't remember it. I only seen this movie once. Of course, we have Diana.
Is it handwritten notes?
You're never gonna let this go, are you?
No, not
No.
for a month.
Anyways, okay, so Diana in No Way to Make a Living. Of course, we've already said that one. And Tin Bears, that's the name of the dude. He goes, I ain't promising nothing extra. I'm just giving you life and you're giving me life. And I'm saying that men can live together without butchering one another. There you
Yeah,
are.
that's true.
Uh-oh. This might relate to me and maybe to you and to what we were talking about earlier. When things look bad and it looks like you're not going to make it, then you got to get mean. I mean, plumb, mad dog, mean. Whew. There's some truth in that. Oh, this one was a good one. To hell with them fellas. Buzzards gotta eat, same as the worms. And then I guess at the end where he's saying, I reckon we all died a little in that damn war.
Yeah, I've heard similar quotes to that one in other movies and stuff, but uh, doesn't mean it's not true.
Nope.
Because you know, there's a lot of quotes about it. You know, if you kill someone, you kill a part of yourself too.
Yeah. Damn, that's deep. Here, a funny from Chief Lone Wadi. I didn't surrender neither, but they took my horse and made him surrender. And he said, what did he say? He said, we thought about it for a long time, endeavored to persevere. And when we had thought about it long enough, we declared war on the Union. And Tin Bear says, relatably, it's sad that governments are chiefed by the double tongues.
Yeah.
So there we are. Let's see if there's more. This is like on Reddit. Make it nice and slow so I can count the hairs on that hand. Yeah, I remember that one. They call us the civilized tribes because we're easy to sneak up on. You get them holes leaking, I'm gonna womp you with a knotted plow line. Yeah, I love the buzzards line. That was great. Sunshine, sunflowers, and son of a bitches. So let's see. War, what is it good for? Yeah. Thank you for the Seinfeld reference. Yeah. Final quote speaks volumes. Yeah. Good stuff. My goodness gracious. So, well, we're coming up on the end of the hour. Is there anything that you would like to add, Stig? Because, of course, I know what I don't know, but is there anything you would like to say?
No, I think this is Eastwood's third best Western. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly being the best, and Unforgiven being number two.
Interesting. I would have thought you would say that Unforgiven was the best.
No, because The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is more of an epic. Plus, it's bolstered by a sick soundtrack.
Ah, that's true. Ernest
Yeah.
Morricone.
Yeah, so the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly has almost more in common with the Lord of the Rings movies than Unforgiven, because the tone is way different, and they're on a quest in the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right?
Yeah.
Traveling and all kinds of stuff, and you have the soundtrack, and where the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is kind of a gritty, realistic take on the Old West. You know.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good points. Those are a very good point. Okay. And of course, Unforgiven. I need to rewatch that one. Now, I have recently watched the Pale Rider. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Pale Rider is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one because it's well, spoiler alert. Maybe I shouldn't give the spoiler, but I definitely love the whole premise and how it all ended up. To find the best girl.
I thought the ghost thing in that was kind of, ghosts don't use bullets.
Was it a ghost though, or was it an angel?
Still, he's using bullets.
Okay. Well, I think we weren't supposed to think too hard about it. Best Western, what do motels have to do with it? Oh dear. Pale Rider and High Plains share a lot of themes. Yeah. Yep. Good stuff.
Yes. I actually rewatched both of them recently, and it's almost, Pale Rider is almost, in a sense, a remake.
Huh.
In a way. There's too many similarities there, right?
Well, I don't know too much about them. I need to. What's the one? High Plains? I haven't seen. Actually, I have not seen that one. I don't think
High
I have
Plains
at all.
Drifter. That's where the term "paint the town red" comes from.
Really? Well, shows you my ignorance. Well, wow.
And
Okay.
it's got Jeffrey Lewis in it.
All right. Well, I guess I need to up the ante and watch more of these. But of course, right now I'm watching the Halloween.
Well, hell, start a Western collection on Blu-ray.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well then, yeah, and it's Path of Daggers, Norporio. We need to review that, so DM me when you have a time for a review on that. All of the movies, says Norporio Lifeform, I watch are either older films or highly acclaimed recent ones. Too much slop is made these days, quantity over quality. Darn right. I mean, look at all the crap.
And you can't trust reviewers because they will review based on politics and the politics of the people involved, which is why you often see, the actual viewers are, panning a movie, right? Well, the reviewers have like a 96% score,
Yeah. Not to mention paid bots or
Yeah.
paid things. You just can't trust it at all.
Well, Disney got busted. This was around the time of Captain Marvel. They got
Mm-hmm.
busted using a company in India that boosted reviews and stuff. And I think I was on with John Talks when we saw it happen almost live. It was
Yes.
brand new users popping up on IMDb, posting identical reviews, and that was the only thing that user had done. It was, it posted a positive review of a movie and gave it a 10 out of 10. That's all that account ever did.
Mm-hmm.
And they were popping up left and right. It was the same thing, and they had very generic names. And we also saw reviews getting removed from Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is in part owned by Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So, because John and I both posted negative reviews, but we made sure there was nothing offensive in it or anything. 5 minutes later, the reviews were gone.
Yeah. I
But
remember
the
that. I
but the
remember him
yeah,
exposing that. Yeah.
but the positive ones, because we posted positive ones too, and they uh, they were left up.
Yeah. If you like everything, you like nothing. Yeah. I miss Siskel and Ebert. Yeah,
Yeah,
they tended to be fair.
yeah.
That was back before the days. Yeah. Well, I've noticed that also, not even just with reviews, but on X when you see certain bots like where they'll say like almost the exact same thing, but just one word being different. I saw that recently over a certain political topic that's going on in England, and people that were countering it were almost using the exact same words. And it's like, okay, you just know this now. And I used to believe it. Now I know that it's all fake. It's all the Matrix. But of course, what is not the Matrix?
Another thing
Any
that people should look into is if uh, if a gaming website gives a game, a standing ovation of a review, right?
Mhm.
If you go to the website, you could see trailers for that game, playing on the banner thing or whatever, or in pop-ups. That means they've gotten money
Yep.
from uh, that game developer. And it's usually EA, with the FIFA games and stuff like that.
Yeah. And proving Norporeal's point here, as we said earlier, reviewers are shills.
Yeah, they are now.
Yeah. Siskel and Ebert used to make fun of derivative works all the time. They hated gratuitousness. IGN. Yeah, IGN.
Yes, that's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
So basically, if you want a good review, I guess, of a game, ask a friend who's, let's say there's a new Resident Evil game, right?
Yeah.
Ask a friend or someone who's or that's absolutely into games like that, what he or she thought of it.
Yeah.
Because if it's someone who's already a fan and is not, shilling for anything or not looking for clout, you'll get a very honest opinion about it, because people who are actual fans will notice all kinds of stuff that's done wrong.
Mm. Yeah. Well, just like anything else, I guess we just have to start depending on word of mouth. I'm not sure that the whole astroturfing thing is working anymore though, because they ran out of it, like what we saw with, for example, the Wheel of Time. They went all out. When you look at the scores that Wheel of Time got, amazing scores and everything, but here it was this big disaster and got canceled. And Rings of Prime, maybe it's a success from a certain point of view, but does anyone know
Oh,
about it? Is anyone talking about it? Well, you know how they're propping it up, but for the most part,
I think maybe it was Nerdrotics or something that had done the numbers,
mm-hmm.
and they were bad.
Okay, yeah,
They
but
were really bad. But the Rings of Power got 3 seasons approved right off the bat.
Mhm.
So you know when people go, oh yeah, it's gonna get canceled after season 1 or 2. No, that's not true because 3 seasons were financed right from the get go. Season 4 is when it might get canceled, right?
Okay, well, we'll be keeping our eyes open for that. Yeah, but regardless, if one were to look online, one would think it was a huge success. But obviously, Lord of the Rings fans don't like it, but worse normies don't like it. Like when the original Lord of the Rings movies were coming out, that's all everyone was talking about. Normies, non-normies. You went to Burger King and they had merchandise. I mean, people were collecting things. It was huge. People were talking about it. People were there opening night at midnight and everything. And Rings of Power, no one's talking about it. No one cares. And
You know, the only ones that really talk about it are the super fan YouTubers that have Tolkien channels. They started loving the show after the showrunners invited them to a castle for a dinner.
exactly. And Oxford, they got a tour of Oxford. Yeah. Total shills. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were clearly for sale.
So it's not working at the end of the day because you can only prop up something so much, but if it's slop, you can't succeed. Um,
No,
I'm going to be
because
keep
if if you prop up slop, your credibility turns into slop too.
yes. Oh yeah. A certain website that I won't personally mention by name here. They
Oh,
really
is
got
it the, is it the website that forgot to count the one ring?
yes.
They were literally such super fans that they forgot to count the one ring.
But they got in trouble because they got a little too high on something and they did fake leaks or something. Remember that? They had their leaks and they were going with that and they actually got betrayed by the people that were shilling for them. I remember that. So karma is a bitch and it will come for you and
They
it will
they
find
uh,
you.
they blocked me when I pointed out that Sam and Frodo were not gay because Sam he married a woman and had babies.
He had like 13 of them.
Yeah, and I said I don't think a gay man would do that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
of course they would probably say that. Well,
I got blocked instantly.
yeah.
It's like
They would say,
boom.
well, they were obviously in the closet, if you read between the lines. One ring yeah, they blocked me. It was funny. What did I kept calling them out for their bigotry and they didn't like that. But they were trying to drum up anti-Catholic bigotry, which was really interesting before, considering who Tolkien was. And it's like, dude. Now, I remember because I was there they courted us like you wouldn't believe it for very good reasons, the same way that they courted all the Christians in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I remember going to one of their events. Like they were like, "Hey, come to this talk." So I was like the Catholic representative for one of those for the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. They actually reached out to us, and so it's like, no, 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 no. We're big supporters of the Lord of the Rings, and we were big supporters of the original Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Don't try to rewrite history. We were there, and they blocked me, of course, but that's okay because I can live without that. I'm perfectly fine. Yeah, obviously we're in the bit of a free for all section of this, because we have finished our review of the Outlaw Josey whales, but this maybe comes to the center of the theme that I've been trying to say a lot is under your encouragement, Stig, is go backwards, go find the good stuff. I mean, this stuff is art. This stuff is amazing and it's there to be had. It makes you think. And while it might, for lack of a better word, be slower than what we're used to, because we all have ADHD now, apparently. But pop some popcorn like I did with my family. My brother in law had it on DVD. We got the dog, we had the cat, and sit and watched it as a family night, and it was magical. It was so much fun. So do that. And even if you don't have the dog, the cat, and the extended family, that's okay too. Do it yourself. Have movie watches. Maybe do like what we're doing and review them. Find the good stuff. Find the stuff that encourages you. Find the
Revive.
stuff that uplifts you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Resurrect the living room. The living room has been dead since cell phones and Netflix.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, because that was special doing that.
Yeah, you're watching movies in your friend's basement. Hell, even gaming in a friend's basement. But they've actually removed the option for a lot of that too, because now you can barely find any games that you can play with friends on the same screen. It all has to be online. You know.
Mm-hmm. You are correct. Yeah. Now, as a family, we actually did something with the niece and the nephew where we were playing a game online, but we were all playing it together. Like where you had it on your cell phone and then we had connected it to the TV. I don't know how they did that, but that was fun too. But you're right, it does not encourage it anymore the way
Remember
it
back
used
in the day? Well, I played on the Commodore 64 and stuff, but in the early days, PlayStation 2 and and Xbox 360 and stuff, there were all kinds of games that you could play up to 4 people on the same damn console. Me and my friends used to have Call of Duty contests, right? Because the screen would be split in four,
Yeah.
and we'd just run around, shoot each other, and you know,
Yeah. No, that was
it's
good
it's
times.
all online now, which is it,
Well,
it's it, I think it's linked with the streaming services for movies, right? That they
mhm,
want everything to be digital, everything to be online, and they want everyone to sit by themselves for some
yeah,
reason.
money. Usually if you follow the money, you'll follow it. But on the other hand, it's also can be something positive, for example, for what we're doing right now. Just maybe balance is the key.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch this right now. There you go. So there we are. Yes. And if I have encouraged people to do that, then that is something that I've succeeded at. My job is done here. Now, we are making this regular. We talk, sitting around the campfire and all that. And maybe I'll outsource it. I'll put my nephew to work and have him make a little thing for me where we can make it uh, with a spot campfire. I don't know how to do that. However, the next one Stig is chosen because this is the one I chose. So, Stig, what is the movie that we will be reviewing for the next month?
Next month we will be reviewing The Wild Bunch,
Okay.
which
You
I
heard
think is from 69.
it is from 69 because when I looked it up, it was kind of shocking, I guess, because of some gunfights in it.
Oh, the final gunfight in this, I've never seen anything like it. It's off the charts.
Yeah. Oh, so there we go. So if you would like to watch it and then either catch us live or comment in the comment section after the live stream, the Wild Bunch will be the next one. And I like doing this. I really I really am looking forward to seeing this gunfight because there's something about a good old shootout that we all love. I mean, why do we love the gunfight? The OK Corral. So I'm gonna go there, by the way. I'm just gonna get in my car and drive over there. It'll take 2 days or a day, but I wanna go to Tombstone so bad. I'll get there and watch it. It'll just be nothing. It'll just be a little street. But I digress. Hello, it is Ubaldo T. Thank you for being here. I've been driving all this time. Great chat. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for listening in. I do appreciate that and hope maybe it made your drive a little bit better. Yeah, I do have to wrap this up because I have an appointment I need to get to. Um, a stretching appointment. Everyone should do it. They stretch out your body. It's great. So, Steve, where can we find you?
Here next month, and I think it's maybe next week. We're doing a top 10 on Mara's channel.
Mm-hmm.
top 10 favorite movies from 2003, I think it is. Favorites, mind you, not the best necessarily.
Okay. So I know what my number one is from that year, but it's hard to beat what it was. But yes, so please subscribe to Jade channel and check out those. Those are really great and they're entertaining, and everyone can participate in the chat. And you always get ideas. Also, stay tuned here. Myself and my friend Maury of the triple review fame, we are going to be telling ghost stories, real ghost stories, dun dun dun, creepy stories. So if you like to hear ghost stories that might be real, stay tuned here and make sure that the bell is hit.
You
And
know
we
why they're gonna do that though? Why Maury and Teresa, two women, are gonna do that
oh
in October? It's because they're ghoul friends.
oh boy. Oh, that hurt. Okay. And of course, if you've been participating in any kind of a challenge for Halloween, for the 31 days of Halloween, I know that many people have the ones going out. Purple Valkyrie posted hers. I like to do it a little bit more casually. I like to theme. My theme this month is ghosts, as you can tell, telling ghost stories, but also ghost movies. So I'm going to be reading The Turn of the Screw and just any movie that has a ghost in it. So we'll be sharing that. And then Stig, I'm not sure, are you committed to a particular challenge this month, or are you just watching anything?
I'm just doing the one Purple Valkyrie posted, but I'm just binging stuff though, so I'm not doing one per day. I'll just
Okay.
watch a bunch of them and go, this one fits there, this one fits there.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Whatever makes you happy, and that's what we should all be doing. Alrighty. Well, I gotta sign off. I want to thank you, Baldo T, for being here, Nordporial. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Much appreciated as always. Support for the channel. And we had let's see, Turbo Phil, he came in. We also had Tyron and many others coming in and out and saying hi. Oh yes, Cinema Copa, he showed up as well, and JB's Pork Shop Express. And then those of you, like I said, that I saw coming in and out of the chat, I'm so glad to have you here. Have to watch quality entertainment.